Now, when I was sitting there in a marketing workshop with him and I heard him say that literally standing in front of me, I said to myself, I was like, this is a man that is so omnipresent. He's so out there with all this content that's perfect and all the reels and his massive editing teams and he's got all this $1 million production. No, he goes by a simple principle. I remember sitting front row, seeing Donald Trump walk by in front of me, up to go shake Grant Cardone's hand at the GrowthCon stage. And I thought to myself, I said, wow, this man can get himself in front of so many different unique type of people, from the Kevin Harts to the John Travoltas to the Donald Trumps that are on his stage. How did he do it? And what did he do to get them? And I started to think about Grant and all the things he does, and I wanted to make this video to teach you the 3 massive learning lessons that I've learned from the man himself after spending $250,000 in the last 6 months on all of his infrastructure and much more to come. What he's been able to teach me comes down to these 3 things. Hey guys, my name is Jaydahan, and I teach people how to win the game of life through the strategies, tips, and tricks that I've learned from some of the most powerful and fundamental leaders in this globe. Now we're talking about Grant Cardone, and Grant Cardone has many secrets, many tips and tricks. But what were the 3 that really stuck out to me? Number 1, show up. This is such a rule that's been overlooked by so many people, so many industries, so many things. Whenever you want to accomplish something, you just gotta show up. Show up 80% of the time, minimum, and you'll start to see a massive difference in what you do. We always make these excuses and the unnecessary thought patterns, and we do all this self-talk and talk ourselves out of things that we need to do versus just showing up. Showing up forces you into action. Showing up gets you into a position where you say, hey, I'm already here. Let's go. It psychologically wires you to be able to actually be present and actually accomplish what you're there for. Number 2, back to GrowthCon stage when I got to see him, introduce some amazing people. And I will say, he said one thing that was very specific. He said, people make these lists of goals and all these other things, and that's great. He writes his goals down twice a day, which is powerful. But what he said most importantly about lists was create lists of people that you want to meet, people that you want to associate yourself with, people that you want to eventually interact and have a conversation with. So I encourage you, goal lists are amazing, but on top of goal lists, set yourself some goals of the people that you want to meet. Now I have 3 specific people. I have Elon Musk, I have Dwayne Johnson, and I have none other than LeBron James. And I like these people for the disciplines, the mindsets, the difference in the way that they perceive the world. So those have been my 3 for this year. Now, I encourage you guys, make that list and have that close to you so you can start visualizing that interaction you'll have with them. And 3rd, post it, because nobody's gonna see it. Now, when I was sitting there in a marketing workshop with him and I heard him say that literally standing in front of me, I said to myself, I was like, this is a man that is so omnipresent. He's so out there with all this content that's perfect and all the reels and his massive editing teams and he's got all this $1 million production. No, he goes by a simple principle. Just post it, nobody will see it. And that psychologically got me to start to think, who really cares? It's not about trying to make this a perfect video or a perfect reel or getting my language so perfect. We're always chasing perfection. And if we're not chasing perfection, we're just doing some self-chatter in our own minds, just contemplating the way I'm gonna sound or think or whatever it may be that's holding you back from just getting out there. Now become omnipresent by having that type of emotional capacity inside yourself just to say, hey, I'm just gonna post it. Because the more content that you can start to deliver, the more people will start to actually understand who you are. Now, I've been creating content for many years, but just recently I got onto YouTube and more on Instagram and doing all these amazing things. And I started realizing, again, it wasn't about creating that perfect facade of what people want to see authenticity. They're okay with you messing up. They want to see the journey that you're on. So get into that mindset of just not having to necessarily, don't think of it as in, I don't care what people say, because that's a negative thought pattern. What you want to say instead is, nobody's gonna see it, so I'll just post it. And if you get some positive feedback and you get some negative feedback, great. Because always remember guys, 1/3 of people are gonna love you, 1/3 of people are gonna hate you. It's about the 1/3 that don't know yet, that you need to now be able to interact with. And as always guys, if you like this content, you like some of the rules that I bring you to the game of life, feel free to click subscribe and like at the bottom. I encourage you guys to, pay attention to some of the journey that we're on with the next gen movement. And for those of you that haven't heard, I truly am helping inspire and empower the next generation to live a life with abundance, freedom, and wealth. I help teenagers that are struggling with finding purpose, and that has really become a passion project of mine. So if you got any teens at home, or you are a teen at home that really want to discover your purpose and find that real passion inside, that burning desire to uncage your war, feel free to click the link below so we can get you set up for success.